Mr. Ed here. Today is June 26, 2021. I'm in Mandeville, Louisiana. Where I am today, you may not know it by looking at the area because it's so rural looking right here. Charlie, in fact, pan around. Show what we got around here. As he pans around, you'll see the crew that's out here. Show who we got here. Yeah, we got us a full crew out here.
You'll tighten up a little bit. Tighten up a little bit. Move this way. There you go. There you go. I had the sun in a little bit closer over there, Randy.
Come on.
Randy, you're gonna have to sneak in there, Randy.
So we got the whole crew out here this morning. But as I asking Charlie, if he pan around to show you the area right here, you think we're somewhere out in the country. But the truth is, we are right in the middle of a major subdivision right here in Mandeville. And this area where I am today, I actually delivered mail here 28, well now it's been over 30 years ago now that I delivered mail. And back in those days, before there was subdivision, any development in that here, there were only 3 houses back here. I used to come back here and hide to take my breaks back here because nobody was out here. It was such a great place. But what am I doing today? This shed behind me, it was a shed and now they've converted it into a living space. There's actually a kitchenette right behind where I am right here. And as you can see, we got a bunch of bees on the outside of the building. I shot the flare on it already, and I'll show that to you. And it looks like the bees are only going to be in this section of the studs. So you can see where the screws are here, and there's another one here. So this area right here is where our bees are. They may extend over here, but it looked like it was about this high all the way to the ground. It's not T11. It's more of a fibrous material. I forget the name of it. And it's buckling down here. And I think that where it's buckling down here, we're going to have comb pushed out all the way out here. But we're going to find out about that as we get in. So let me show you a picture of what the bees look like on the flare, other than just what you're seeing right there on the outside of it. And this is what the beehive looks like on the flare. At the spot right here where my cross marks are, those are just the bees on the outside of the hive. As I move to the right, you can see that as the cross mark goes down, the hive extends all the way to the ground, and it comes up to about this point right there. Now that's just the point where the bees are. You may have comb above that, but we'll find out exactly how much comb and how large this hive is once we remove that siding. That's what the hive is looking like on the outside and with the siding on and through the flare. But in just a few moments, when we get this covering off of it, we'll expose it, and by the grace of God, these bees right here, they're actually going to go home with Eric temporarily, who's then going to bring them back to Bill, who wants them here on the property. So let's get back to this and get to wrangling. You ready, Charlie?
I'm ready to go.
Let's do it. Before I start taking that siding off, I'm going to go ahead and vacuum these bees to kind of knock the numbers down just a little bit. There's really no point in me trying to take that siding off and disturb all these bees. So we'll suck them up first and we'll knock those numbers down a little bit. So let's do that right now. So now with those gone, I'm going to start taking out these screws and trying to get this piece of siding off. Oh man, look at that. Disaster strikes early on this one. I was using that crowbar just to hold the top out, and it fell down and it hit that piece of comb, and now it's on the ground. I mean, the bees were all on the ground. I had to move out of there real quick because they were coming up my legs. I'm going to take a quick break here and vacuum up this stuff and get this comb off the ground. that disaster has kind of been straightened out, and that was terrible. When that crowbar fell from the top, it hit that piece of comb, which happened to be attached to the siding, and it just fell on the ground. And my concern was that the queen was going to be on that piece of comb, which is why I took care of the bees on the ground immediately. I vacuumed up as many bees as I could on the ground. There's still a bunch of clusters right underneath the plywood right here in the dirt, and if our queen is in there, I'll be able to come back and get to her. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and pull the siding off, finish pulling it off, and get to the bees. Surprisingly, the bees are pretty gentle. They may not look like it, but they are. So let me go ahead and finish pulling the siding off, and then we'll see what the rest of the comb looks like. And it is not a really large hive. And it's too bad that the first piece fell off, because it would have given an impression it was a little bit bigger. Now here's what came off the piece of siding. And I'm going to vacuum these bees up right here real quick. I don't see the queen in all that mess of bees right there. But let's go ahead and vacuum these bees up, take the siding off, and then we'll start working on that piece right there. So all the bee mess that I've made is now hopefully straightened up. I didn't see the queen, so I'm still assuming she's going to be in that comb somewhere. And what I'm going to be doing, you can tell this is a brand new hive. They haven't been here maybe 6-7 weeks, not long. So I'm just going to start vacuuming the bees down, cutting out the comb, putting it into the ice chest, and hopefully we'll find that queen. Now I vacuumed the bees off the first piece of comb, off the face of it, and now you can see a little bit better. We still got a lot of bees back there, and I think I may actually have to take off that second piece of siding because that comb goes far back up in there. Not that far, but far enough. So I'm going to start to remove this first piece, vacuum the bees on the back side of that, and start knocking the size of this hive down a little bit. right. Look how many people are out here. This is a regular party out here. And there were 2 or 3 other people, and they're going, I don't see them. Anyway, this is what we're looking at right now, and I know that sun is going to be right in our eyes. So I removed that first big section of comb, and that first piece had fallen off. And now we can see that we have comb being built in that next section of that wall right there. So we're going to have to take this next piece of plywood off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on this section right here. And I'm looking at the way these bees right here are behaving and how they're moving up the wall like that, and they're tightly clustered. And to me, my guess is our queen is right in here somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start removing this comb right here, and it's not as wide as the ones that were in front of it, so it should come out a little bit easier. I won't have to cut any of that, and work our way to the back where all those bees are, and I think we're going to find our queen right up in there. Okay, the dirt rooster's gonna love this. Yep, I was wrong. She wasn't on this side. But I think, I'm gonna say, she ran over to that side when I was vacuuming the bees. So, we're gonna have to go ahead and take off that next piece of plywood and finish showing the rest of that hive and getting these bees out of here. With that piece of plywood taken off, or actually not taken off, it's right there, it's blocking the sun, thankfully. We can maybe get some better video, huh? Look at this. Get around these bushes. Now, let's see if we can get that camera up in there. There you go. We still have a lot of bees up in there. So with that piece of plywood off, this piece of comb more accessible. Let's start looking for our queen, huh? Well, folks, the hive is no longer in here anymore. And unfortunately, we did not see the queen. But I'm suspecting, I'm looking over at the bee vac, and I am noticing activity by the exhaust. So I'm pretty sure she's going to be in there. So we're going to go set these bees up at Eric's, and we'll go frame by frame and see if we can find our queen there and cage her over there. But when you see the bees flying like that around that exhaust, and we've got so many bees vacuumed up already that there's not even enough bees around here to really give a good indication. But I've seen several of them already go inside of there. So I'm pretty sure that's where our queen is. Let's go ahead and pick up here, and we'll head over to Eric's and shoot some more video over there. We actually framed up every bit of that comb. Yeah, some of it is wet, but I figure the number of bees that we've got, they'll be able to handle this stuff. Let me show you what we got. Kind of sloppy. So we got honey in here. This is another frame of honey. And we've got 5 frames of the brood in there. So all that comb that we took out, 80%, 85% is now in the box. So I'm going to put on my bee suit now and open up the bee vac and look for our queen. So before I turn these bees loose, let me show you what we got. I'm telling you, there's got to be 15,000 plus bees in the box right here. And you know the drill. I'll take the screen board off, search for my queen on that first, bounce them, and you know, usually I like to have my queen already set up, sitting on my frames down there, but I'm counting she's inside the box right here. So I'll bounce these bees into that, and I'll start picking up the frames, looking on the frames, and of course I'll do the Olympic frisbee toss to get the frames away from here so the bees don't get on them again. All right, it's time to find our queen. Okay. I did not see her on the frames, but we still got all these bees right here to look through. So let's see if we find her in here. So went through the whole box, frames, everything, didn't see her. So we're only about 2 or 3 miles from Bill's. So we're gonna run back up the road, check there one more time, and then come back and see if these bees have calmed down. Let's get up the road and check that out.
We're rolling. We are recording.
I see an REC on it now.
REC. Romeo Echo Charlie.
Good time, Charlie, it is.
Well, you know.
That was kind of like a disappointing removal. I mean, it was successful in the sense that we removed the bees, got them relocated, but disappointing in the sense that we didn't find the queen. And there were, when we went back, I searched the ground. There's no bees in the area. So she wasn't left behind. She wasn't dead in the bee vac, because I've actually had that happen once. And I just didn't see the queen, you know?
No, I didn't see her either.
And Charlie's got them eagle eyes, you know? He can see all that stuff. But since Ralph wasn't here, you know, we had to struggle. We didn't have his eagle eye set looking for her. And there was a lot of bees. There's a lot of bees. When I turned the bees loose and reduced the box, they covered 10 frames. And you saw what we gave back to them. We wound up only putting 3 frames in there with just plastic foundation on it. But other than that, these bees are kind of like on their own. Now, Eric has promised me he's going to keep me up to date on these bees, on the progress. He's going to go back in there in 3 days and check. And then not to look for the queen, but just to see if the bees are still in there, if they haven't absconded. And then he's also going to give a week, and then he'll go in there and start looking for queen presence, maybe even find her. But ideally, he'll find the queen when I couldn't. So what do you think about today?
Well, like you said, it's a disappointment. It was, you know, that's the highlight of the day, is finding the queen and getting it. I mean, that you can't beat that.
Right, and then we had the whole crew of people. You know, it would have been great video, good drama.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
we got the queen. There'd be a big party and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Lots of thank you, Jesus would be all over the place.
Everything.
But we're still going to say thank you, Jesus, for this wonderful adventure.
That's right.
And they're set up back there, and I think they'll be fine because the queen has to be in that box. I just didn't see it.
Got our fingers crossed.
I got both of mine crossed, and my toes too.
That's it. Thanks for watching.
Keep on watching.
We'll be making more.
God bless, Mr. Ed.
And good time, Charlie.
We're out until the next video. Looks like we got a honey tasting competition going on. How's it taste?
Oh, it's fantastic. They're just so.
Oh, look at those sticky fingers.
That's okay. I just need a little champagne.